I'm very excited about today's session. It's been great. You know, you've changed tens of millions of lives. Funny enough, when I read your book back in the 90s, little did I know that I was actually going to be sharing a stage with you. So I'm very excited and honored.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
When I caught up with you, you and Kim Kiyosaki were in Melbourne for an event about 3 years ago. And we caught up in the VIP room. We had a really good chat about property, and I really felt a really strong bond, and I was very excited about that. Our tribe, we call ourselves freedom fighters, because we're fighting for freedom, not just in financial sense, but in many other ways.
Good for you, good for you.
Yep.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, please go ahead.
Your interest rates, how long can you get interest for now? How many years?
Are you talking about fixed interest?
Yeah,
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years, okay. And do you guys still promote negative gearing?
Look, with our company, I don't promote negative gearing. What I do is I've got a hybrid. So I actually do positive cash flow negative gearing. Because as you say, with the cash flow quadrant, the wealth investors, what they do is they lose money on paper, but not in real life. So what we do is we lose it on paper with negative gearing, but make actually positive cash flow and get money in our pay packet every week.
Okay, well, I don't know how you guys do that, but I got into so much trouble when I used to go to Aussie all the time, and I got into so much trouble because I don't negative gear.
Uh-huh.
You know, I never did.
Yes.
And so it took me longer to find a property. So but I had to look harder in Aussie, especially with interest rates. So with your term of your loan so short,
Yes.
I can get 30-year fixed here.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, the difference between America and Australia is very interesting when it comes to property.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love Aussie. I would have bought more property, except your interest rate, your term of the loan, and your government.
Uh-huh. Well, if you want to talk about our government, I mean, you can see what's happening at the moment with our freedoms, but that's another topic. Look, I think it's fascinating what's happening in the world. With all the reserve banks printing so much money at the moment, I think that's one of the reasons, that things like Bitcoin and property and, fixed assets are going up. And that's one of the things that's pushing it.
It's a dangerous time right now. Very dangerous.
It is. And that's why people need to get advice from the right people and really get it right. Because I really believe we're going to be hitting the roaring 20s again, because you look at the last pandemic, the Spanish flu, they had the Great Depression, the roaring 20s straight after.
I think you're correct, Plus it's that book by Strauss and Howe, The Fourth Turning. We're in it right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll talk about that because, like I said, I owned one property in Brisbane, Rushcutters Bay, and Bondi, and I almost bought in Perth, but it was the negative gearing and the interest, the length of your loans that kind of made me gun shy,
Yep, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it just meant you had to get smarter.
Exactly. And look, when it comes to Australia, I've got the experience and the runs on the board. So that's one thing that I'm really good at. We've got around 60,000 followers around Australia on different channels and quite a few members of our program. And what we're doing is our overarching goal is our unstoppable mission is to empower 10,000 Australians to create wealth through investing in property using the Markoski method.
Good for you. Good for you.
Oh, by the way, I was going to just talk about the pronunciation of my name, George Markoski.
That we were talking about that right before we came on. Markoski.
Perfect. Look at that. It almost rhymes with Kiyosaki.
It sounds like Kiyosaki to me.
He's the Australian.
Another thing too is what's your interest rate at for?
All right. Interest rate at the moment, the official rate is 0.1%.
What?
0.1.
0.1?
Yep. That's the official rate. And you can get it. Yeah. Sorry, I missed that.
I can get a loan for it 0.1%.
You can't get a loan. That's the Reserve Bank, what they sell it to the commercial banks. The commercial banks are giving it out at between 1.8 to about 5.6%, depending on who you are.
Good. Yeah, we're getting fixed at around 2%, so it's good.
For how long?
Forever. 30 years.
Oh, 30. That I would love to get fixed for 2% for 30 years. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, there's special programs you have to qualify for, but the last just about 4 weeks, a month ago, we borrowed 31 million. So with that, you can negotiate.
Wow, that's amazing. That's next level. And it's very exciting to just hear about what people in the next level are doing like yourself, which is really cool.
Well, the problem with Aussie was you guys had capital gains going so hard. You could flip properties.
Yeah, well, look, flipping properties in Australia is not really a good option because by the time you sell it and all the expenses, you haven't made much money. You can actually refinance, get the equity out and get more money by refinancing and keeping the property than actually flipping it.
Also, you guys had stamp duty too, right, or something?
Yes. So here it's very different. You buy property, you just don't sell it. That's where how everyone's made money, by keeping property. You sell it, you just lost everything. Goodbye.
Good for you. I agree. Thank you.
Hey guys, that was just great. And that's Robert just warming up because he's just about to go on stage, as you can see there by the camera. And what's going to happen now is I'm going to go up on stage as well. And we're going to meet up on stage and start delivering today's presentation, which is going to be great.